Hi, my name is April McKenzie-Hall. This video is titled, I Do Not Know McKenzie Chinn / God. I'm April McKenzie-Hall. This is a very brief video. This is part 6 of this video. Hopefully my last. I don't want to write do any more, right? Or about the situation no longer or do this video. But what I will say is that I was talking about marriage, people trying to force my husband to marry due to invention war money, which were my inventions were illegally placed in his name, due to fear of a repeat of 9/11, where they felt like terrorists would want somebody to favor a woman named Jamie. And she had dark hair, more of Italian, Puerto Rico, Latino, Arab look. So it was a lot of fear there that it would be a repeat because initially I had ancient Indian war money in my name as April McKenzie, my maiden name. So there was a little concern. And they were definitely people fighting against prophecy and things that God was going to do to bless a lot of black people. And we still seem to have that fear. Also, this video was basically exposing another issue that they were trying to get my husband to, go to Las Vegas, try to have a wedding ceremony with someone that favored McKenzie Chinn and things like that. And, hopefully that's not true. But, when people study the book of Matthew and study on marriage and divorce, there are a lot of people who don't believe in what God says about marriage and divorce. And when I initially wrote the president back in 2012, I had people read my letter that didn't want to read it. Therefore, the pastors, our Christian family, everybody was under attack. They broke up pastor marriages that were in my family, broke their families up. Also, they continue to try to break my husband out. This is political military team. They have, when I was trying to get, either they get rid of some of the money, disassociate the money with Jamie's name in California and other places, which was causing problems here for us. Then people came here to, I guess, start, a little war with my husband and I. And we dealing with a lot. We had people break in, putting, I think they had put 10 holes in my arm. Had to go to the hospital. One was non-contagious TB. And so a lot of this stuff is going on, which God exposed. And it's been, stuff like this been going on for centuries, but it really was growing rapidly in USA. And so these are war crimes, and hopefully people would do at least 15 years in jail for the things that they're doing. But my main thing was talk about marriage, that the fight against our Bible study, who don't have nothing to do with my life other than we studying the Bible. I actually, just feel distant from my Bible study group because I felt like, they were being attacked by this political military team, and I believe it was mobs of people involved and packs of people involved snooping around, causing problems. But initially was mobs of people involved back in 2012. And like I said, we had like 2 or 3 pastors in my family, and they had broke up their homes. And my husband, Jamie M. Hall, which, people, see us on Facebook together and things like that, they told him he couldn't come home. And so I had to get assistance with that situation. And this was political. So it's a lot of hate towards God and His Word. And the Bible talks about how the leaders will get together on and communicate, have meetings on how to get rid of God. And it just seemed like insanity meeting, because you can't get rid of the Creator. That's like getting rid of yourself. You exist because He exists. And if He's gone, then where do we stand? Doesn't make sense. You can't get rid of the person that created every human being on the face of the planet. And so that's what people want. They want to live, but they don't want God's insight, understand. They feel like it's difficult, to get close to God. That there's no way that everybody can be under God. That's just how people feel, but their feelings don't have the capacity to reason. Their reasoning is wrong. God gave everybody a human spirit, and everybody can hear from God in their spirit. It doesn't necessarily mean an audible voice or anything like that. It's just when they decide that they're going to live for God and they spend time in God's word, you getting to know who He is, and you will know God said, all my sheep know my voice, and they follow me. And so everybody has the ability to follow God because of the Spirit, just like He is three. And, He's not three in one, He's one. But it's just, that's another topic. I'm getting off topic, but people get confused about the Son the Son and the Father and things like that. And I'm not the Bible study teacher, to discuss those issues. But one thing I can say is that a person, when they trying to start a church, sometimes they have to play the pastor role, the choir director. They wear many hats for many, dispositions in the church, but they're only one person, and there's only one God. And a mother does that and understands that very well, and so the confusion, around that, it has to be studied on so people understand what God is talking about. Because sometimes you can't find nobody holy to start your church off. You got to do everything yourself. You Alpha and Omega. And so we're three. We, body, soul, and spirit. And, but we one person. And so just trying to explain that part. But each part of us is distinct from each other. And so I don't know if that helped with some of the confusion, because I'm trying to get people to trust in God, but they can't get past this part right here. Even when God came down as a man to talk to Abraham about Sodom and about the cities and things like that, we have to remember that God is not limited to, to do those things. But touching base on, that's another topic, but touching base on marriage, God hates divorce. In the book of Malachi, God talks about that. He also talks about, that if you divorce your wife and remarry, you live in adultery. So there's many people got different understandings on that. And I'm not the one to judge people that remarry, because it's a lot of things going on where people is forcing the marriage, human trafficking. It's just a lot going on, And the one reason why Moses had the right to divorce, because people will walk away. I mean, they didn't want to forgive each other, and they would want to walk away while giving their spouse income and things like that. So you had to make things legal so people would be treated fair. Your spouse have money, your kids is eating right, you just can't walk away. And so it was just a lot of stuff, the reason why Moses had to do the bill of divorcement. But, like the Bible said, from the beginning it was not so. I hate divorce. But if people, he doesn't really permit divorce, but people gonna get a divorce because of unforgiveness, a lot of gray areas. But one thing I can say, we were under attack on the political military team, coming up against our Bible study, our church. It's so many divorces in the church. You just wouldn't believe when this political military team came involved. And so I just want to warn people, when God talks about if you have a problem, go to the saints before the law and the just. He really mean that, because everybody that professed to be a Christian is not. And even if you had Christians working out the White House, because I had a situation where some military done and I couldn't get assistance. And I was praying about it and everything. And I should have just kept praying and let it alone and not go right to the president of the White House, because it got 100% worse. And we still dealing with it to this day. And so it's one thing to do investigation about war, but it's another thing to break up families and homes. I'm not saying the president did that, but when you get political military teams involved, they take full control, and it's almost personal. When you attacking a marriage, it's personal. You got some personal envy, hate, something towards this marriage, or this hate towards God, because God said when they fight against you, they fight against me. I created marriage. And so it's just a lot going on, and there's no excuse for it. And I look, and my heart hurts because I see so many families breaking up, and I know it's not my fault because I didn't write to the people that did this. They intervened, but it's almost like they hate God, they hate marriage. Anything pure, honest, and decent is hated with this certain political military teams. Once they get involved, they get God out the picture real fast. I mean, it was a week. It hadn't, matter of fact, hadn't been 4 or 5 days. My husband Jamie was like, I can't come home. They won't let me come home. I had to contact a detective, and they pointed me to that team. And so I'm just telling people, God said, do not go to the unjust, even if they leaders. And just remember, you got everybody in the military. Satanists, everybody. So when you go to the military or presidents, you don't know who grabbing letters, who reading your stuff, who's getting involved. And so it just makes the church have to make a stand where they have to have a marriage counsel team, or some type of, I was trying to do a Christian security team in the future. I was hoping somebody would do that, where the Christians would make sure that their marriage is intact. They have people there, like a family crisis type of person there, to make sure that they're not destroying their home, because the children are involved and they didn't even care. We couldn't even eat. We had to contact victim advocate services. They were stealing so much money.